So welcome back to another video on the channel. This is Tech and Gaming Reviews. This is probably going to be one of the craziest rant videos that you have ever seen on this channel. But essentially what is going on is it looks like that there is a good possibility that gaming may actually collapse. And I'm not saying like it's going to happen next year or the year after, but it could possibly all collapse within the next few to several years from now because of what has been going on for over the last year and a half. And what we're about to show you, this might actually make a lot of you guys mad. And we're talking like a few different types of gamers out there. So we're going to start off with the first one. And right here is where it says Microsoft announces Xbox Series XS price increase for Japan. Now, this is probably not going to be as bad as all the other ones, but this is still pretty bad when you think about Microsoft wanting to sell the Xbox consoles, and that for a fact of the way they don't care about selling the Xbox consoles. Like you get the point, right? Like honestly, like I think Microsoft, to me, they just need to sell the Xbox brand to a completely different company. I mean, they just keep showing over the last 2 to 3 years, ever since they released the best Xbox console ever, being the Series X and S, they clearly have shown they don't care about Xbox. They don't care about the sales. But let's read this real quick for you guys. And it continues on, and it says, following the news earlier this week about Xbox hardware revenue, I don't know how the freak that word is, driven or whatever. We've got an update coming out for Japan about another price increase. So it looks like this is not the only price increase that has happened in Japan. But Microsoft's usually not that popular in Japan. And you got to look at it this way. You got two of the three giant companies that make consoles that are in Japan. And this is where it makes so much sense that Microsoft is not popular in Japan. You got PlayStation on one side of the country, and then you got Nintendo, which is actually on the other side. So you got two most popular companies out there. And they attempt to sell games, they attempt to sell hardware. So when you look at it like that, that's what makes sense of why Microsoft would not be popular in there. But Microsoft was, however, selling Xbox Series S's in Japan, at least within the first 2 years after the Series consoles have launched. And it was actually touted that these were probably the most popular selling Xboxes in Japan. They still have not past the Xbox 360, which I think hit around 1.5, maybe 1.6 million over in Japan with the Xbox 360. But the Xbox Series S especially was touted as like Japan's best-selling Xbox console, and it was actually doing better than what the Xbox One did. So, to me, this is just insane, and it just shows that Microsoft does not even care about Xbox hardware. So they just want to be like, yep, we're going to raise the prices in Japan, so we don't have to sell it to you guys no more. At this point, I'm telling you, Microsoft just needs to sell the Xbox brand to a completely different company. And I bet you, even if they're not perfect, they are probably going to do better than what Microsoft is doing. And the leader, Phil Spencer, like me and several other YouTubers have stated, he just needs replaced. The leadership is just dog shit. They don't give a crap about the console. They don't give a crap about the consumers. And they don't care about people struggling, especially. Because they just like, yeah, let's just raise the price. Minus all that. But let's continuing on. And it continues and says, as highlighted by Famitsu, I don't know how to pronounce that word. It's like a Japan word, I think. Oh, it's Val Gamistu or whatever the heck. As of August 15th, 2024, the price of an Xbox Series X model will increase this location by 7,000 yen, approximately 47 US dollars. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that actually means $47 altogether, or oh, okay, yeah, that means an extra $47. And the Xbox Series S 1 terabyte black is going to go up by 5,400 yen, which is essentially $36 in the US, with the 512 gigabyte Series S model also adding on 6,600 yen, which is essentially $44 in the US. And right here is the sheet that you can see. The Series X is going from almost 60,000 yen to 67,000 yen. And then the Series S 1 terabytes is going from 45 or 44 and a half yen to almost 50,000 yen, I should say. And then the Series S is going from almost 38,000 yen to 44,500 yen. Microsoft has told the same source that this increase is only for Japan. It has been adjusted according to the local market conditions. The previous price increase took place in this region in January 2023. So this basically happened early last year. And I actually didn't think that they were going to do this, because they announced, after Sony announced that they were going to raise its prices in every other region except the US, Microsoft said they didn't have no plans to raise prices. But they actually ended up lying. And this is not the only thing that they have lied. They've lied about multiple of other stuff. But the latest increase follows a report last month about combined Xbox Series XS sales in Japan surpassing 600,000 units. And that's not very good in one country. This news continues on from Microsoft's financial update earlier this week, revealing Xbox hardware revenue is down 42% in the latest quarter. I wonder why it's down 42%. Oh yeah. Maybe it's because Phil Spencer does not give a crap about the Xbox console. Oh yeah, let's just worry about Game Pass. Ain't no wonder it's down 42%. Now, I can just see people in the comment section probably going to sit there and call me out and say I'm a Sony pony or I'm a Nintendo fan or whatever. That's not the case. I'm just going to completely give you the news. I love the Xbox console. I have a Series X. I love the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 is my favorite game console of all time, and it was pretty heartbreaking that they shut down the marketplace. But that's the only thing that I can, understand why Microsoft did it. This, on the other hand, I don't get. I don't get why they want to continue to raise prices on consoles when the last 3-4 console generations, it's went the other way around. After so much time, the consoles would get either a cut in like $50 or $100 every single year or every single other year, because there would be new hardware coming out, and the new hardware and next generation hardware would be coming out right around the corner. So this is just going the opposite route. And I've been seeing people here lately over the last few months that they have said that this is the most lamest console generation ever. And I honestly have to agree. Like, these are the best consoles when it comes to graphics, resolution, hardware, and everything. But when it comes to the pricing and games and the subscriptions, yeah, this is the worst console generation we've ever had in history. I mean, the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 is probably the golden era of console gaming. But this console generation, the Xbox One was the worst Xbox console Microsoft has ever done, but that ended up being a better console generation than what the Series X and S is holding. And I mean, it's been even also reported that the Xbox Ones, even though they didn't sell quite as much as they were hoping, they still sold more. Like, the Xbox Series consoles is selling behind how much these Xbox One units have sold in the same amount of time. So, yeah, the Xbox One, I know a lot of people have been saying it's the worst console and does not have the best games or does not have very many games. Honestly, it's definitely got more games than what the Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 have. So that's one area. I know I said area, but that's one area you can give some credit toward the Xbox One, is it's got more games than what the series consoles, and especially the PS5, even though the PS5 is selling incredibly well. But this is for this part. Now we got to talk about Bungie, and especially Pete Parsons, who has actually screwed over its consumers, and it's killing the brand, well, killing the company Bungie altogether. So, right here, it says, Bungie CEO seemingly spent over $2.3 million. Yeah, $2.3 million that he could have paid his employees. But over $2.3 million on classic cars after the Sony acquisition. The Sony acquisition, Sony actually purchased Bungie back in 2022 for approximately $3.6 billion. And we're not talking million, billion dollars. And that might sound crazy, and it might also not sound quite as crazy as the Activision acquisition by Microsoft for almost $70 billion. But $3.6 billion is still quite a lot. But 2.3, when it comes to its employees, that's also a lot of money that's also being left out and not worried about consumers. But let's read this article, because this might actually make you mad, especially you Destiny fans out there. Bungie CEO Pete Parsons talks about Destiny 2 at E3 Games Coliseum. I about said Gamescom. 2017, Sony purchased Bungie, the original studio behind Halo and the maker of Destiny 2, for a whopping $3.6 billion, like I stated, in 2022. Following the sale, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons purchased over 20 classic cars in online auctions costing millions of dollars. According to his account on the website Bring a Trailer, he continued buying them even after mass layoffs. Even after mass layoffs, this guy has got to be the most stupidest freaking pile of shit ever, because he proved he does not care about a company or his employees that are working on the games. He's just like, nope, you guys are laid off. The money is mine. I want to run with it. And this just makes me absolutely freaking sickening that people freaking do this. And it's just disgusting on how you got CEOs that just love to run with the money and don't care about the employees, and they want them to suffer. One person killing others, it's completely stupid. This is just the most horrible, disgusting thing ever. But we're going to continue on. And it says Parsons, who has been an executive at Bungie for over the 2 decades, has faced lots of public criticism over the last year for Bungie's struggles around the evolution of Destiny 2 and leadership decisions that led 100 staff to be laid off last October. But here's where it gets worse. We're going to continue. A tweet from the CEO thanking those cut for their contribution to the company was accused of being tone deaf at the time. The longtime boss faced calls to re-sign again today, even temporarily locking his account on Twitter after announcing the 220 layoffs of the employees. Look at that. So, 100 people were laid off from Bungie October of 2023, so about the same time I moved into this house. And then now, 220 more were just laid off just last week or the week before. So right there, that's a total of 320 people that lost their jobs at Bungie, making the most popular, successful, games like Destiny 2 with its nice story expansions. And Destiny 2, just 2 months ago, just received a new story expansion. And it has been successful. A lot of people have stated it's probably the best story expansion that they have ever made for Destiny 2. So, And I've been seeing this as well. Apparently, successful games in DLCs don't save your job. It doesn't matter. As long as the higher ups, the CEO, the manager, or whatever of a company, he literally, they will never care about the employees. They just want to take advantage of them, make them work their butts off to do their money, and then it's like, nope, all right, you're out. You got to go suffer. I'm telling you, this is what's going to kill gaming altogether, is these stupid fucking hire CEOs that literally just do crap like this, spend money on their own self, even after the layoffs, does not care about the employees. Like, this shit is fucking ridiculous. And I can't, like, I hate to see gaming to go down, because gaming is something that I love and millions upon millions of people absolutely love doing, and it's like one of their most favorable hobbies ever. But this shit right here, as we can continue to get layoffs, and then with CEOs being selfish in their own ways like this is what's going to make gaming just collapse into the freaking ground. Like, I'm telling you, this is going to kill gaming into the ground. Absolutely. But would be laid off. Over 100 others would be transitioning to Sony Interactive Entertainment, and a smaller team would be spun off into a separate PlayStation studio and depending integration. So even then, they have to go to a different company, and that's still incredibly stressful. It's like, can we just stay with, where we're at? And here's another way, or another thing that's going to make gaming collapse, is because all of the layoffs that happen, not just with Bungie, but with PlayStation, Microsoft, and the games and studios getting shut down, and layoffs from other companies like EA, Naughty Dog, and Epic Games, and whatnot, this is just going to just absolutely make people be like, okay, I need a job, but should I risk this going to be a game developer, or should I go find something else? And it's essentially going to make people not want to do gaming development. And then all these companies are going to just come boom to the ground. The only companies that are going to be around for a long time and that aren't have to worry about their jobs is, of course, you got Nintendo. And then, of course, you got Sony PlayStation when it comes to PlayStation hardware and the PlayStation teams behind its games. You just got those companies, and you got Rockstar Games that continues to sell games like crazy. I mean, like, look at GTA 5. It has sold over 200 million copies. Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold near 70 million copies. And the first Red Dead Redemption, now being remastered, has almost sold around 30 million. It's somewhere around 23 when it last got updated, but that was like months ago. So it's probably sold close to 30 million at this point, especially now with the PS4 and Nintendo Switch versions being released. So Nintendo, with its own games and its own studios and just doing what it does best, it's continuing to sell and sell and sell. So Nintendo doesn't have to worry about this, and PlayStation won't have to worry about this because the consoles keep selling. Even if Sony's saying that's not reaching up to their par, it's still doing incredibly well. And then Rockstar Games, awesome company behind the Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption games. And then, of course, Mojang, that's behind Minecraft. Like, those are the only developers that I think people would be safe to go work for. But when it comes to, like, Activision, EA, Microsoft, and freaking Bungie, and countless of others, it just seems like at this point, you're not going to have a job for very much long. Because these stupid higher-up executives just don't care about the money, and they don't care about the products, and they don't care about the employees. They just want to run with the money and grab as much as they can and just run with it, use it for themselves, instead of using it what it's actually meant for. But minus all that, let's go and continue to another one. And then here's another thing that we got to talk about with Xbox. And honestly, like, we've talked about this on a previous video. Xbox is another thing that I love. But this is another area where Microsoft is killing the Xbox brand. So now they're raising prices yet again in Japan. And then they just raise prices yet again for Game Pass. And honestly, if my webcam is literally under this PC Game Pass or whatever, I'm just going to say that it's PC Game Pass for $12 a month, and then it's got online for free on PC. But you could probably see the other things right here. So just because, or just to throw that out there, if my webcam is in front of PC Game Pass right here, it's $12 a month, and then the online multiplayer that you see on all the other tiers, it actually says free on PC, which it always has. But here's another thing that I think Microsoft is really screwing over the Xbox, consumers out there. So now, like we mentioned on one of our previous videos, after the announcement of Game Pass price increase, you now have to pay $20 a month for the Ultimate, and you get day one games as well as certain games, even if you are using the standard, not this standard, but Game Pass console standard that we're currently using, which is $11 a month. This is just insane. But now, when you add the pricing, if you add that up every single month, you're basically paying $240 a year. Now, PlayStation raised its prices about a year ago in August that we have just currently started. Last year in August, PlayStation raised its prices from $120 a year for the premium up to $160. But there is a benefit now with PlayStation Plus Premium. And you don't get day one releases, and that's somewhere I'm always going to criticize Sony for. But for $160 a year, you do get a huge more selection of different games. And we're not just talking PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, but they're also putting in PS2 and PlayStation 1 games. But there is also a rumor that they're actually working on an emulator for PlayStation 3 to be able to just download and natively play PlayStation 3 games. So the games are going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But for the price that you're paying for an entire year, you're basically saving almost $100 for more games. Even if it is without day one releases, you're almost paying $100 less for an entire year to have more games and across several different console generations on PlayStation. But on this, you only get 100 games, and you're paying $20 a month. And guess what? It doesn't get worse than that. You don't even get 200 games. And PlayStation, you're sitting at around somewhere $300 to $400, $500, or 500 games. I don't know why I said dollars, but you're sitting between 300 to 500 games on the PlayStation Plus Premium. Compare to Game Pass, where you're paying more and you're getting less. Honestly, Microsoft used to be the most pro-consumer company out of the three. But now they're starting to be the greediest. And it's because that either people are discontinuing, they're canceling their subscription, they're not buying the Xbox consoles whatsoever, and they're just like, man, we're not making enough money. Okay, let's raise prices so we can continue to lose more. And Game Pass, there's been more people that have canceled their subscriptions altogether. I can almost tell you one thing. I am not paying no $20 a month every single month for Game Pass Ultimate. I will continue to buy my Game Zone, to buy them digitally or buy physical discs while discs last. I am not paying no $20 a month for $240 a year. That's just completely ridiculous. Now, the $75 price increase for Game Pass Core is the only advantage I can understand with the price increase, going from $60 a year to $75 a year. It used to just be for online multiplayer and free games, but you actually do get, right here where it says, you get a list of 25 plus games on console. So you're at least getting 25 Game Pass games with Xbox Game Pass Core while getting the online multiplayer and such that you would normally get. So the $15 price increase on Game Pass Core when you receive discounts and 25 plus discount, or not discount, but 25 plus Game Pass games, that's where I can understand that the $75 of the $15 price increase on Game Pass Core is actually benefit, because you're actually getting a selection of several different Game Pass games, and we're not just talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, but you're receiving 25 plus almost 30. So you're getting not as much as what you get with Game Pass Ultimate, but it's a benefit. You're getting 25 plus Game Pass titles with Game Pass Core. Like I stated, that was just for online multiplayer at the time. But now you're getting a selection of some games with Game Pass Core. So that's the only one that I will probably ever get. But Game Pass Standard. Okay, so look at this. Right here at the bottom from the check marks, this is day one editions, day one game editions, not day one, but added to a future date. So Microsoft is like, okay, no, if you want to play day one, you have to pay $5 on us. Even though you're going to get those day one games, but at a future date. I'm telling you, I don't know what is going on with gaming altogether, but gaming is absolutely, it's collapsing at this point. Like, we're not talking about just Microsoft, but we're talking about these companies, these higher executives, because of how much game development is costing. They just want to run with the money. And then we're talking about, PlayStation and Xbox altogether with their price increase. I still criticize Sony for its price increase, but now when you look at Game Pass Ultimate for $20 a month, and then you add that up for the 12 months, you're paying $240 a year for just a selection of a few different day one releases and less amount of games than compared to PlayStation Plus Premium, where you're getting games from like a few different console generations, and you're having an even huge selection of games for that low $160 price tag for a year compared to $240 for Game Pass Ultimate. I'm telling you, like, I would not be disappointed, or I won't be disappointed. I won't be surprised, is what I meant to say. I will not be surprised if gaming actually does collapse because of all this. Like, we're talking, all of these companies are going out of business, not Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, or especially Activision or Rockstar Games, however, but companies like Bungie, EA, and such that are getting so much criticism and such for their games, and that don't make as much money as like these companies like Activision, Rockstar, and the three console manufacturers. Like that, I wouldn't be surprised if gaming does collapse, and then PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, well, not Nintendo, I should say, but PlayStation and Xbox, and as well as all those other companies, PlayStation and Xbox would probably have to freaking make new developers and such at that point. Because honestly, I mean, this is just not a very good look. It has not been a very good 2024 year for gaming. And it's with PlayStation, Xbox, and as well as all these other companies like Bungie, EA, and the list goes on. And I'm telling you, it's just not looking good in the gaming universe. So, at this point, I think Microsoft just needs to sell the Xbox brand to a completely different company, because with this, and then now raising the prices in Japan yet again for Xbox consoles, at this point, it just seems like Microsoft does not care about it doesn't care about nothing. It doesn't care about its console. It doesn't care about its Game Pass subscription or anything. Just like it doesn't care about its games. So, I honestly, yeah, I think at this point, Microsoft just needs to sell the Xbox brand, the Xbox division, to a completely different freaking company or whatever. Because they clearly don't give a crap about the Xboxes. They don't care if they don't sell. They don't care if Game Pass subscribers go down, because that's why they raise the prices, so they can just continue to kill it. And, yeah, Xbox needs new leadership as well, if Microsoft is going to continue to support it. I mean, It's time to get Matt Booty. It's time to get Phil Spencer. It's time to get freaking Sarah Bond out of the office at Microsoft. Well, at least at Microsoft on the Xbox team side of things. It's time to get those guys out. It's officially time to get them out of office. They just do not know what business is. But other than that, then you got to also look at, like I mentioned, the CEOs and all that good stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's been not a very good year in 2024 for gaming. And at this point, it just seems like it's going to completely continue to get worse at this point. So, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that long rant video that we had for you. I know I screwed up in a couple areas, but you can just tell how frustrating that I am, and that's just what happens when people are just absolutely frustrated at companies like this that do their own way and that hurt either consumers or their employees and whatever. It makes you not think as good. It just makes you not think of what you're saying. But hope you enjoyed this long rant video, like I stated. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button. Also, subscribe if you're new to this channel, and we'll keep you posted with more content like this going forward. And also, yeah, let us know in the comment section down below of how stupid that you think it is that Microsoft is raising prices for Game Pass, and now it's consoles in freaking other regions like Japan. And then let us know about Pete Parsons from Bungie that laid off 320 people within the last 10 months and just still continue to, spend their money, their profits on his own self to continue to kill the company even more. So yeah, just let us know in the comment section down below on how stupid that you think all of this crap is, whether if it's about Pete Parsons not giving a crap about his employees, or Microsoft with Xbox Game Pass and the consoles just continuing raising prices and such. So yeah, just send us a comment down in the comment section down below of your thoughts. Rate, comment, subscribe. This is Tech and Gaming Reviews, and we will see you on the next video. Peace.